Hello everyone. In this presentation, I will be briefly covering some key trigger points to engage your customers in retrofitting and including some examples. But first, apart from being a good thing to do, I just want to briefly recap on why you should be engaging your customers in energy efficiency. So firstly, demand is rising. Solar panels installations have increased nearly 700% in the last 4 years, and heat pump deployments are also increasing. And this is being driven by higher energy bills, government targets, and increasing incentives. By considering the longer-term needs of your customers, you'll also be delivering added value, which in turn can help increase your brand reputation and retention. And I think, importantly, it's also an area where you could potentially grow revenue. So you could potentially make, based on our estimates, over £700 per property from incentives provided by improvement suppliers. So there is a real opportunity there. So when is the best time to engage your customers? So there are a number of different trigger points where homeowners and landlords could be naturally engaged. For example, their boiler breaks down or when they retire and they're looking for reduced bills. What I'll be touching upon briefly are new purchases, remortgages and compliance. So in terms of new purchases, 47% of Britons are looking to make improvements to their homes. And the first year after purchase is usually an important time where people do renovations. So a really good example here is where Yopa has been quite innovative actually with buyers, where they wait a few weeks after the exchange of contracts, and then they send our Green Vow retrofit tool to their customers. And this forms part of a wider welcome pack of services to the new owners that Yopa provides. This is a market-leading retrofit tool that enables people to view a report on their property, select improvements, and then get direct quotes from improvement suppliers at the right time. There's also a large wave of people remortgaging this year, so especially encountering higher rates than that they've been used to. So Habito, we've worked with, they've used our portfolio audit tool to actually analyse their existing customers to develop tailored messaging for people who are due to remortgage within the next 6 months. Again, they then use our green retrofit tool to engage, and then they track progress of engagement with that tool as well. This means the homeowner is much better informed about additional borrowing needs prior to remortgaging, and then they can get the most appropriate product for their longer term needs. And for private landlords, although the current government, minimum energy efficiency standards is being scrapped, the current ones are still in force. So that's currently at E to be able to rent out. And the government still has a target for all properties to be upgraded to at least an energy rating of C by 2035. So we work with Molo, who's primarily a buy-to-let lender. And they used, our portfolio audit tool to identify properties at risk now and in the future. And then again, they've used our Green Vow retrofit tool to then engage those higher risk properties. So what are some considerations when engaging customers in retrofit? Just to summarize, firstly, understanding the risks and opportunities that your customers is really useful, and particularly to tailor targeting on specific segments of your customers, which will most likely be wanting to retrofit. Secondly, getting an understanding of where you can best raise awareness in your customer journeys is really important. And then understanding what tools and resources can be used at different points. Obviously, we've got a set, but there are other tools out there as well. And lastly, energy efficient retrofitting isn't just a one-time transaction. People might get loft insulation 1 year, a couple of years later they might get solar. When their boiler breaks down, they then might want to replace it with a heat pump. So all of these improvements might need financing, so it's a really great opportunity to essentially be there for your customers when they need that at the right time.